This is my spray bottle. I'm going to use this when you have perverse thoughts. I know what you're thinking of right now. You clicked on the video title because you wanted to know about why am I so attracted to trans women? Why am I so attracted to trans men? Well, that's the first issue. You're associating them with just their identity of being trans, and you're using that attractiveness to base their entire identity and idea off that one singular factor, much like liking a big voluptuous dump truck Latina or liking specifically black men because of their endowed membership. You are enacting in an act known as dehumanization. Let me explain what that means. Shall we take the scenic route? This is a mermaid. A mermaid is a mythological creature which you don't know what it feels like. It has a lower half of a fish and the upper half of a woman. You may be kind of attracted to this idea, to see the taboo within this nature. Oh, it's half and half. It's very interesting. Now, a more common depiction of let's say a mermaid that you might actually know would be Vaporeon right here. Vaporeons are actually the most compatible with humans. Being in the field A group, they are the most compatible for human breeding. And this is very interesting because that was a first quote from a copy pasta that many people use as a Vaporeon to have at this aspect. Pokemon are taboo because more so than often, they are quite literally just animals, but they have human proportions. And oftentimes you see this combination of two things as taboo. We got Baneri right here. Baneri is basically just a bunny girl. They stand up tall and they can communicate and hug you, and they can understand what you're saying and actually have interactions with you. We have Garnivore here. Garnivore is a human plant woman. That's the entire aspect of what Garnivore is. There are many also just outstanding weird picks like Ninetales. Don't really know how that got completely destroyed off the wazoo, but there's this aspect of taboo nature when it comes to this thing, and that makes it more alluring. Let's take, for instance, something else you probably did when you were younger. A lot of you guys probably got a really bad nicotine addiction. Probably tried some vapes out when you were younger. Probably tried some things you weren't really supposed to do, and that's completely understandable. You guys were smoking the old cigarettes. You guys were messing up your lungs, destroying the inside of it, not listening to that dare lion that popped up randomly when he said, please don't do this. You're causing a forest fire within your own lungs. That's Smokey Bear. Two coalescing things because I learned both of those things when I was younger. And that causes you to have this love of it because you're not supposed to do it. Things are often feel better when you're not supposed to do them, such as pirating video games. It feels cool because you feel like you cheated the system, or it feels like you're actually growing up faster, or it feels like you were different from the status quo. You are having some sense of individualism by doing this and making you feel special and unique when you do this action. That is called the fake aspect of a Barnum effect. If you don't know what a Barnum effect is, the Barnum effect is a bunch of generic statements all coalesce to a singular confining idea to make you believe it, such as a horoscope. Every Virgo is deep thinking and analytical. Leos are prideful and arrogant. Oh, you're a water sign, so you cry. That is the Barnum effect. They're generic enough to where they apply upon a wide spanning group, so a bunch of people agree to them, and that's the big issue there. Now then, we're going to talk about trans people and how they're actually mythological creatures. If you ask me to name 10 black actors, that'd be very simple of me to do. I could go through Idris Elba, Chris Rock, I could go through Chris Tucker, a lot of Chris's there. I could go through Kevin Hart, I go through Morgan Freeman, and I could easily name 5 more. I can even name some producers and some directors: Jordan Peele, Keegan-Michael Key. I could go through indefinitely and do so. If you ask me to name just regular cis woman actors or just cis women people that are popular, I could go through an entire list. I can go Belly Eyelash, very good. Ariana Grande and her sister, Ariana Venti. Kevin Liver, Kevin Hart's sister. We could go all day with this. Wouldn't be that difficult for me to do that. It'd be super simple, super easy, and super efficient. However, how many trans people can you name? Caitlyn Jenner? I think that's all I got in my brain right now. Elliot Page. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I genuinely can't go through an inspiring list of people that go through my brain when I think of that. There is no representation in the media, and whenever representation is put present, it is viewed as their entire thing. That's what happens. Oh, the girl from Euphoria. Just thought about it. The girl from Euphoria. Hunter Schafer? That the girl from Euphoria just popped in my brain right there, just kind of coalesced inside of my mind. Because film and media don't actually put trans people in the center forefront, they become back in the ways of human thinking and process. They're not there. They're often portrayed as workers of the promiscuous activities, mattress actresses. They're often viewed as a trap. Oh, you got me. I got you in the bedroom and I pulled down, and oh, you got a Lincoln log down there. Gee willikers. Ah, you got me a legless lizard. Ah, well, I'm already here. Might as well, because the taboo nature, the promiscuousness, the hidden nature of it, the fact that you're not supposed to do it makes it more alluring, and that causes you to repress a lot of your mindsets and thus causing you to hypersexualize the idea of transness, and that destroys the entire confines of it, which sucks. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, if they don't want to be sexualized, then how come their entire identity is sex? Well, because oftentimes they have to go to a doctor, get a diagnosis, and they have to talk about their sex in order to get that sex operation and change. It's kind of the entire forefront of what they have to do. Yeah, why come they go to gender stereotypes? How come every trans woman is super feminine and every trans man is hyper masculine? Well, because that's the only way people will accept them. Because there's not enough talk about trans people and things of that variety, and they're often viewed as the outlier of the LGBT. Oh, what's that? Let's put that over there. They're often viewed as the outlier of the entire aspect. They don't often get the attention they deserve. And because they don't get the attention they deserve, they're often viewed as the most divisive group because nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about the science behind it. No one wants to talk about the transitioning period. No one wants to talk about the fact that some people detransition, some people needed it earlier, they needed hormone blockades earlier because they already knew. Nobody talks about it because there's not enough research and discovery. Thus, they have to assign to gender norms to actually be a person to people. If you want to be viewed as a woman, you got to act like a woman in society. That's the entire thing. You got to do femininity. You got to wear dresses. You got to do this. And that makes a trans person feel more womanly because the outside world is now accepting them as a woman, not a cross-dresser, but an actual woman. The world is accepting this person, same as you, same as me, same thing. I just pointed it backwards. Doesn't really matter. Who cares about what my fingers are doing? They can do whatever they want to. Don't focus on that. I'm a squid. Doesn't matter like that. And they are a seahorse. They can change whenever they feel like. They can do as they please. That is the aspect of what we're missing here when it comes to this actual talking point. No one wants to talk about it, ever. This is a feminine man, or more so a femboy. This is breaking down gender norms. This is very common in day and age, where you see somebody such as, let's say, a woman dressing masculine. Oftentimes, masculine is associated with man and feminine is associated with women. The goal of most gender talks nowadays is to break down that stereotype so that we can understand that gender is a wide-spanning spectrum where women can wear long wife beaters and sweats and still be a woman, and men can wear dresses and probably wear thongs and wear makeup and still be viewed as a man. They're still the exact thing they want to be because people express their gender identity very differently. That's very important. However, this is going to be sucky for everybody. No one cares about that. They see a femboy, they're going to think, wow, that's a bottom. I can get inside there. When there are some femboys that are tops, they're going to see a masculine woman and think, oh, she's going to dominate me. But there are some masculine women that are very in touch with their women's side. They're very in touch with their womanhood. They just wear the clothes because it's more convenient, more comfortable, has pockets, because all the women clothes I found inside of my dresser don't have pockets for some odd, unexplainable reason. I really don't get that. That's what happens there. They often do this as a sense of breaking down the gender norm of society, but they're not even doing it for that sometimes. They're just doing it because it's comfortable, because it's how they feel, it's how they want to dress. That's what happens. It's disgusting. And because it doesn't get that much representation, because it doesn't get that thing, trans people don't have a way out of assigning to the gender norms because that's all they can do for people to look at them and say, all right, I view you as a woman now, you count. All right, you're a trans man, I view you as a man now, you count. And there's so much stigma behind the entirety of everything because it's not there. Unlike me, I'm sure you're not an idiot. So you often know that sex sells. And in online culture and the algorithms that push things out, they often push out the hypersexual content. You see a girl with big, voluptuous dump trunk cakes, you see her shaking that thing, boom, 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 boom. It's gonna get a lot more clicks. Because if I just put some chest receptacles on the screen, if I just put some cleavage on the screen, I can put it in my thumbnail, it sells. People will click on it. They're gonna say, whoa, does this pop up in the video? Oh, it's kind of crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and let me unzip real fast. Oh, I like this. This is actually pretty good. I like this a lot. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Oh, yeah, ooh, she's shaking them. Because that's what gets people to click on the video. That's what happens. And often with trans things that get pushed out, it's the hypersexual content. That's the part that gets pushed out. So people are only seeing a small denominator of the entire big picture. That's what they're seeing. And it sucks. It's disgusting. And it's evil. to have. Let's go through what we learned today. You want to sleep with a Vaporeon for some odd reason. You think mermaids are really attractive because it's taboo. You think it's interesting. You are lured by the siren that is actively going to do that, but the siren will cause you to go to your doom because you're not supposed to like it. It's not supposed to be cool, and it causes you to not be introspective and question your sexuality because you are so secure in your straightness or secure in your normity that you don't want to actively do anything. Your heterosexual normalness is being questioned by the aspect of something that looks like a woman but you think is not but actually is, and that's the idea. And that's the idea of transness, to challenge the status quo. Sadly, it has become a challenge now to actually exist. They have to challenge the normalcy of it so society can actively accept them. Does it suck? Oh yeah, it's the worst thing on the planet. It's evil, it's disgusting, and it's actively just destroying their mental state. That's why you see a lot of trans people that have a lot of mental issues, because they don't get the actual help they need. And you could call it an illness, you could call it that, but what's to cure that symptom? Science, obviously. So scientifically, let them be what they want to be. It's not really affecting you, it's not really destroying you, it's not really making your life any harder, is it? Is it destroying you? But what if my son wants to be trans? What if my daughter wants to be trans? Then your son is now a daughter and your daughter is now a son. Welcome to the real world. Now you got a flipperoo 180. Isn't that great? You got to experience being a father to a son and a daughter. You've won. You actually done everything. Now you can give unwarranted parenting advice to everybody. Good for you. You are amazing. I'm so proud of you. This shouldn't be that big of an issue. It really shouldn't. I do not grasp why every single time their entire aspect of existing is just being hypersexual. And it sucks, and it's not fun, and it's hateful. And I know you guys are saying, why do you care so much about this? You're not trans. Correct. I am not. But I'm an ally. And I see my friends suffer every day through the mental stress of this. I see them express their issues with me. I see when they try to make a platform, they cannot articulate what it is without getting hyper emotional and angry and roaring up and just fumbling over their words. I'm very articulate. That is the one trait that I have indefinitely. I'm very good at speaking. I'm very good at laying out my points, and that is why I am using my platform for specifically this. It is very important for me to do so, and this is not the entirety of my platform. If you're new to the channel, it is not all I ever talk about, but it is something that lives within my mind. I post things that are living within my mind and things that make me feel good. I post what I want to. I stream Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. through 10 p.m. EST. So yeah, I am happy that you stick around for the video. I'm happy that you're here. If you ever want to talk to me or have a conversation, try to reach out on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'll try my best to get back to you. I usually reply as long as you're not a psychopath. So yeah, have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. And if you are trans or want to talk about your experience with hypersexuality and things of that variety, just go ahead and comment down in the comment section below and tell me about your experience and tell me about how you feel. I will try to chapter the video. Now then, ladies with gentle hands, men with ungentler hands, I need you to enjoy the musical stylings of Taraj. Here's Like That.
I'm your Nick at night, be my Laurel, low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.